Hi, I'm Ron Nutter, and welcome to another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter. And this time, I'm going to help you start doing live TV with Plex and building your own library of programs and movies that you want to watch when it's convenient for you. And that starts now. To review where we've gone, okay, now you've followed the videos, and right now I've got just for the Mac setting up Plex, but I'll be doing another one soon for Windows for those that would prefer to set it up on that platform, and it's just a matter of what you've got available. There's no right or wrong way to do it. But at this point, you should have gone through doing a basic setup of Plex. Hopefully you've got the Plex Pass, either the 30-day trial or the 90-day, or really, even though Plex gave me the lifetime, if they hadn't have, with what I've already seen in just a few weeks of using, it's well worth the money. And I've even experimented turning on the enhanced program guide. So time will see, not all programs will take advantage of that, but I mean, not all programming rather will take advantage of that. And then I showed you in the last video how to set up the Silicon Dust Connect Duo tuner. And now is when the rubber's going to hit the road, because I'm going to show you how to start using it. So let's go ahead and switch over to web browser. And now what we're going to need to do, you're going to need to have two tabs open. And what we're going to want to do is have one open to the Plex server and one temporarily open to the Silicon Dust portal. And there's a reason for this, because unless you've been watching your home router very closely, there's going to be some things that you're going to need from here. And it's just good to have it up temporarily anyway. Beats having to scan for IP addresses and figuring out what device is where. So this is the tuner we set up the other day, and we've already got the latest firmware. Now we'll go to the main screen and we'll just do a quick check. Okay, there's no new firmware has been come out with, so we're fine there. We'll go back here, and then we will go to system status, which is kind of where we were. And this is the address right here that's going to be important to remember, because we're going to have that in setting it up. Now, in going through the video where I showed you how to set this up, we did kind of a basic, kick the tires deal, where you had the antenna connected, you did a scan for your local channels, and you verified that it was working to an extent. And that's an important first step. They don't really talk about it, but to me, you've got to know that step A is working before you go to step B and then wonder why nothing's working. At least you've now got a comparison level. So we've got that address. So I've already logged in to my Plex TV portal, and I've selected Studio, which is the Mac Mini that we're going to be using for doing these videos. Now we'll go down here to Settings, and I need to keep the screen. Yeah, we're fine on the screen. So we'll go down here, and we'll do, okay, let me switch back here for just a second. I'm going to drop the lower third because that's blocking some of the screen that, we kind of need to get to. So we'll go down here to Live TV and DVR, and this is what's going to look like the first time you go through. So we'll do Set Up Plex DVR. Now, this is my production tuner right now, so we're not going to use that one. So remember that IP address we looked at, that's the same address. So we'll click on that one. Check mark shows up. We'll click Continue. Now this is showing you the channels that second Plex tuner that I've got in place has found. There's nothing wrong if you want to do another scan for channels. I mean, I did one again over the weekend after doing the last video, and I'll be darned, a couple more channels popped up on both of the tuners. So that always tells you there's going to be from time to time new channels coming up. Maybe someone's going away, but that's the case. So it's going to default to antenna, which is the settings we used on the other one, and of course United States. So I'm not going to make any changes at this point. This looks right from what we did the other day. So we'll click Continue. Now it's going to ask what language we want. So yeah, we want English, at least in my case. Although sometimes I think I take it as a second language because there are some nuances that I still haven't figured out. Now, I've entered my zip code, and that's important because that's going to help the download of the guide be set up for your area. So we'll click Continue. Now, this is going to be finding the initial information, and this is not going to take that long. It's just pulling what channels that it's found about based on what you told it. Now, if it's local over the air, we can tell if you were tied into cable TV, this is where you would tell it the specific system. And, okay, I used to have Google Fiber TV, but that went to the wayside. You see all the other options. So we're just going to leave it local over the air broadcast. And where that's going to make a change is the channel numbers that would be presented would match that system. Now, by default, it's going to enable all the channels. And this is where you can start throttling what you can see. Now, for example, I never really watch public television that much. So in my case, I will deselect those. And you can go back and re-enable them at any point in time. And then you just have to get the latest program guide. And that's all there is to that piece. And there's some other channels. I mean, you can, take away and add. This is not, once you've done this, then it's set in stone. So, for example, I just deleted those few. Well, Kubo, Shop, QVC, HSN, and Light TV. This is the one I told you about that had popped up for me in the Kansas City area. So we'll click Continue. Now, this is the part that's going to take a while. And I'm going to switch back here to the main screen. It can take, depending on the speed of your connection and how many channels are involved, it can take a few minutes. And I've had it take half hour to 45 minutes. It just depends. So, this is the part that you're just going to have to kind of wait for a little bit. But, having said that, let me shift back to the screen where I can do it. So we can say close. And at that point, now, see where we deselected a few channels, it reports that. It says, okay, this is the number of channels that it found, and then we told it what we actually wanted to see. And this is where you can always tell what's going on, because it will tell you when it's refreshing the program guide how many different airings. It says airings. It's basically if a program airs 100 times, let's say, it's going to show us 100 airings. And now there's a setting under DVR that we'll look at. Now, you can tell it depending on the TV station involved, or you may find that sometimes it cuts off the beginning or the end. You can tell it how many minutes to start and stop when it's doing recording. Now, this is the one I've turned on, and I would suggest not doing this right away. Get used to what's there first, and then take it from there. And that's the enhanced program guide, and it does take longer. I was timing it today, and it was well into 2 hours. It was downloading that much information, so time will tell. But we're going to leave those settings alone for right now, and we'll go back up here to the home screen, and notice there's a difference. Now we've got a live section here where it shows recording schedule, which right now there's nothing there. Now with program guide, even though we're just barely starting to see things, then you can already get an idea of how it's going to look. And I mean, really, this exceeded what I was expecting, because I was trying to be realistic and not expect that much. For example, Big Bang Theory. And now, see, it's already telling us TV show library required. Now, you can do it one of two ways. You can either create the library from here, and it's basically going to take you to that screen, TV shows, and we'll just leave that with its default selection. And the one thing you will need to do before starting this is you're going to need to create the directory, because it will not auto-create the directory from within the Plex portal. So at this point, I'd already gone out and created a TV directory. I just put it under the root part of the drive. And see, now it's selected that. Now, if you don't pick it from here, you don't pick it from the drop-down menu, and you type something in and the directory doesn't exist, it won't error out. So make sure you create that directory first. And then once we're done, we just say add library. Now when we go back into record, say Big Bang Theory, it's going to know about that TV shows directory. Now you can either do a one-time recording, which for TV shows, you probably want to record this series, so we'll say all episodes. Now, here's a little trick that I've learned on this. If you say new airings only and the show is not in production anymore, you'll never get anything in most cases. At least I wasn't. So what I had to do is do new and repeat airings. That is what allowed me to start getting shows that had been, say, several years ago, or a show like Last Man Standing that is not, at least at this point, is not airing anymore. And you can click record. And even while it's downloading the program guide, and that's what's taking us a little bit longer, is that normally it snaps back right away. But you can see that's really, you're up and running at this point. It's very straightforward. I've got just a single 2-channel tuner, the HDHomeRun Connect Duo. There is a 4-channel, and I'm going to show you in the next video how to get two 2-channel tuners available. I don't know if its support goes past that, but I really can't see needing much past that to do what I want to do. So really, this has been, okay, there, it finally cleared. And it's only because, see, now we're at 76% of the program guide, and this is the, what I'll call the abbreviated version. So this really is, you can't make it any easier. The reason I selected the Silicon Dust Connect Duo, it was an external box. It didn't really require any resources such as power or any sort of direct processing. It doesn't have to load any programs on the Plex server for this to work. The Plex server understood what to go do. So, you know, I've been very pleased with this, and we'll get into another video talking about where to put the antennas, and it's going to be a kind of trial and error, but I'm going to show you some tricks that I've learned. Is my first inclination was to go out and get a special piece of equipment that would give me direct readings of the different towers and the signal strength, but there's a lot within not only Plex but within the HDHomeRun Connect Duo that really I was hard pressed to make the justification. So we're going to keep moving on. I've got several more videos yet to do, and I'm going to let the cat out of the bag right now. A video I will be doing here probably within the next week is integrating Plex with Alexa, and you can basically open up the Plex app. You can select what you want to play, and it's going to be a very hands-free situation. I'm trying to do something similar with Google Assistant. I'm waiting for a response right now from HDHomeRun support to see where they stand with that integration. But really, even if it's only Alexa at this point, think it where that brings us. This is where it's starting to get exciting. That's where I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, because there's some pieces of equipment I'm going to mention that we haven't talked about yet, and it's on my list to do some videos, but I didn't want to wait, because I want to start showing you some practical ways of doing this, because this is almost like a drug. You're really going to enjoy it, because this way now you can watch TV on your time, not be dictated by what the program airs at, or having to wait till, you know, say a couple of months when the reruns start. So I want to thank everybody who's subscribed to the channel so far. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so right now. Every person I get helps me that much more in being able to get manufacturers to work with me. And if you want to take the next step beyond that and check the little bell after you subscribe to the channel, you'll get reasonably timely notification when I put up another video. And if there's any questions you have, please reach out to me, because I want to make sure that I make this as enjoyable for you as I can. There's all sorts of combinations. There's no right or wrong way to do this. One of the things that I'll be showing you later on is setting this up with a Synology NAS. You can use others. Synology is one of the ones that seems to work with Plex the best from the research that I did, and we'll find out. There's all sorts of things. There's so much here, and we'll be talking about doing movies. I've got some video DVDs from when I've been at Walt Disney World scuba diving. I've got videos I've shot over the years. I've got, you don't want to know how many slides I've got, but I've also got digital pictures as well, and showing you how to use this as a media center. And this really has got a lot of potential. There are other packages out there, but Plex is the one that I went to first because of the different support it had. And if I do have a problem, and Plex, to their credit, has been pretty decent. And I've also had to go to HDHomeRun support because I had some questions for them. And usually you hear back from them within about a day. So that's not bad. But again, thank you for subscribing. Everything that we've talked about, I've got links in the description so that you can see exactly what I've been buying. Those are affiliate links so that if you do purchase that, I do get a small commission. It's not going to change your price at all, but it helps with the ongoing costs I've been having with getting the channel up and running. And I do want to say again, thank you to Plex for helping me out with the Plex Pass, because that's one of the things that's really going to let me show you the capabilities of this device. And you can run with the free version. There's just some things, I believe DVR is one of the functions that you don't get, but this is, this is nice because now I am free of not having to have a particular subscription from the cable company or a satellite company. And the biggest thing I want to do now is show you about taking the Plex tuner that I've been working with so far and adding it to my production configuration so you can see a 4-channel setup, because I'm already seeing error messages when I try to pick another program to record, and it conflicts because both tuners are busy in a particular time slot. But that's just one of the things that we'll learn as we go along. So thank you for your time. If this video has been useful to you, please, if you click the like button, I'd really appreciate that, and subscribe to the channel, because that just gives me feedback saying that you like what you see, and I'm going to keep going on, because I've got right now, I was looking at my list, and I've got over 100 videos planned to produce on this, and more probably coming with as I find different little pieces of the parts, because getting voice control with Plex was interesting. It was more straightforward than I expected, and I found a way today to turn it up to another level. So with one minor exception, you don't have to use any remotes anymore. So that's, why not? Let's make technology work for us for a change. Appreciate your time. And I'll be probably coming out with a video in another, well, hopefully within the next few days. But this gets you up to the point where you can use Plex to record your over-the-air, your local stations. And then as you get that, then the side benefit is, there's probably a station or two in your area that may run movies. And I've already been rebuilding my collection because there's some of them that I just hadn't bought. And okay, so they've got ads in them. Big deal. Doesn't bother me. So thank you for your time, and we'll see you again.